Most people think that the secret to staying healthy after 70 is to simply walk more. Walking is often seen as the go-to exercise for older adults. And while it does have its benefits, here's the surprising truth. Doctors are now warning that relying only on walking might actually speed up the aging process instead of slowing it down. Yes, walking keeps you moving, but your body after 70 needs much more than just that. Without the right balance of exercises, you could be putting yourself at risk of losing muscle strength, straining your joints, and even increasing your chances of falling. The reality is, walking alone doesn't address some of the most important changes that happen in your body as you age. Your muscles gradually weaken, your bones lose density, and your balance becomes less stable over time. When walking is the only exercise you do, it simply can't keep up with all of these challenges. That's why more and more health experts are saying that if you're over 70, you may want to walk a little less and focus instead on 5 key areas of movement. These are the real secrets to maintaining strength, energy, and independence well into your later years. And here's the best part. The changes are simple, doable, and can truly transform the way you feel every single day. In this video, I'm going to break down those 5 essential areas one by one. You'll learn what to do, why it matters, and how small changes can improve your mobility, protect your joints, and even extend your life. Make sure you stick with me until the very end because the last tip is something almost no one talks about, yet it plays a surprisingly big role in your longevity and overall health. Before we dive in, take a moment to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos that could make a big difference in your health and independence. And if you find this video helpful, type 1 in the comments. If you don't, type 0 so I know how to improve and continue creating content that serves you best. Now, let's get started. The first area is strength training, something that becomes absolutely critical once you pass 70. Walking is wonderful for keeping you mobile, but it does very little to build or preserve muscle. After 70, one of the greatest threats to independence is sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass. This isn't something that just happens because you're getting older, it happens faster if you don't actively fight against it. The truth is, your muscles need resistance to stay strong, and walking simply doesn't provide enough of that challenge. Think about it this way. If you can still carry a heavy grocery bag without feeling strained, stand up from a chair without pushing off with your hands, or open a tight jar without too much effort, that's a great sign your muscles are doing their job. But if those everyday tasks are becoming more difficult, chances are your muscles are slowly weakening, even if you haven't realized it yet. Without intentional strength training, your body will continue losing muscle, and eventually, that loss can impact your independence. Take Robert, for example. He's 74 and had made walking a daily habit for years, believing it was enough to stay healthy. But then he noticed something troubling. Lifting a box that used to feel light suddenly became a struggle, and getting up from the couch without help wasn't as easy as before. At first, he chalked it up to normal aging, but his doctor explained that what Robert was experiencing wasn't just age, it was accelerated muscle loss caused by not challenging his body in the right way. So Robert began adding basic strength exercises into his routine. Light resistance bands, simple bodyweight squats, and even push-ups against the kitchen counter. Within months, he felt stronger, more stable, and more confident in his movements. This is the kind of transformation anyone can have. Walking still has its place, but after 70, it's not enough by itself. By combining walking with the right kind of exercises, you'll not only move better, you'll also protect your independence, reduce your risk of falls, and stay healthier for years to come. After just a few months of adding simple dumbbell movements and resistance training into his routine, Robert noticed a dramatic change. He felt stronger, steadier on his feet, and surprisingly, he even had more energy to carry him through the day. And here's the important part, strength training doesn't have to mean lifting heavy weights at the gym. For many people over 70, it can be as simple as using resistance bands, doing bodyweight squats, practicing push-ups against the kitchen counter, or even lifting household objects like a gallon of water. The secret lies in something called progressive resistance. This simply means challenging your muscles a little more over time, keeping them active and engaged. And the benefits of doing this consistently go far beyond just having stronger arms or legs. Countless studies show that maintaining muscle mass is directly tied to a longer life expectancy, better mobility, and even sharper brain health. In other words, protecting your muscles is one of the best investments you can make in your independence. Want a quick way to test your strength right now? Try this. Sit down in a chair and then stand up without using your hands. If you can do this with ease, that's a great sign your strength is still serving you well. But if you struggle or feel unsteady, it may be time to start focusing on rebuilding your muscle. And the best part? It's never too late. Strength training at any age, even after 70, can slow down or even reverse muscle loss, improve balance, and give you the confidence to stay active and independent for years to come. So if walking has been your only form of exercise until now, consider this your wake-up call. Muscle is the foundation of longevity, and after 70, it's one of the most important things you can protect. If you're still with me and finding this information valuable, let me know by commenting the number 1 below. That way, I'll know you're engaged and want more content like this. Now, let's move on to the second key area that often gets overlooked: balance and stability. Walking is fantastic for movement. But here's the truth, most people don't realize it doesn't necessarily improve your balance. And after 70, balance becomes a critical factor in protecting your health and independence. Falls are one of the leading causes of serious injury among older adults. And while many assume weak legs are the problem, the real issue often comes down to poor balance. Unless you're actively training for it, your balance naturally declines over time. Think about it. You've been walking your whole life, so you might assume your balance is fine. But balance isn't something that stays strong automatically. It's like a skill that slowly fades unless you practice it. Walking doesn't engage the tiny stabilizing muscles in your feet, ankles, and core the way targeted balance exercises do. And when those stabilizing muscles weaken, even a small misstep can turn into a dangerous fall, one that could take months or even years to recover from. Here's a quick check. When was the last time you stood on one foot to put on a sock or reached for something on a high shelf? Did you feel steady, or did you have to grab onto something for support? Many people don't notice their balance slipping until they have a near fall, a scary moment that shakes their confidence. That's exactly what happened to Edward, age 76. He had always been active, but one afternoon while stepping off a curb, his foot landed at an odd angle and he suddenly lost his balance. He caught himself just in time, but the close call left him shaken. His doctor explained that specific balance training could help, and suggested simple exercises like standing on one foot, shifting weight side to side, and practicing slow, controlled movements. Edward committed to these exercises, and within just a few weeks, he noticed the difference. He felt steadier, more in control, and even regained confidence in situations that had once made him nervous. And here's the encouraging part. Balance training doesn't require fancy equipment or a gym membership. You can practice it right in your living room, and the benefits can be life-changing. Simple movements like standing on one foot, walking heel to toe in a straight line, or practicing slow, controlled weight shifts can make a dramatic difference in your balance. The benefits go far beyond just avoiding falls. When your balance improves, your posture becomes more natural, your reflexes stay sharper, and your coordination feels smoother. Suddenly, movements that once felt stiff or awkward start to feel effortless and controlled. Want to see where your balance is right now? Try this simple test. Stand near a counter or sturdy chair for safety. Lift one foot off the ground and see if you can hold it for at least 10 seconds. If it feels easy, that's a wonderful sign. But if you wobble, struggle, or need to put your foot down quickly, it's a signal that your balance could use some extra attention. And here's the truth, balance is one of those things we rarely think about until it's too late. But by training it now, you can keep your body steady, strong, and independent for years to come. So if you've been focusing only on walking, it's time to shift your priorities. Walking keeps you active, yes, but the best way to prevent a fall is not just staying on the move. It's training your body to stay steady, stable, and ready for whatever life throws at you. That brings us to the third area, flexibility and mobility. While walking keeps your legs moving, it doesn't do nearly enough for flexibility. and after 70, this becomes critically important. Over time, joints naturally stiffen, muscles tighten, and your range of motion decreases. Movements that once felt smooth and effortless, like bending to tie your shoes or turning your head to check your blind spot, start to feel restricted. That's your body's way of telling you that flexibility is slipping away. And when mobility shrinks, so does independence. The tricky part is that most people don't notice how much flexibility matters until it's already fading. Walking alone doesn't fully stretch your muscles, nor does it work your joints through the variety of movement patterns they need to stay healthy. That's why doctors now stress that after 70, dedicating regular time to flexibility and mobility exercises is just as important as cardio or strength training. Without it, everyday tasks from reaching into the back seat of your car to putting on a jacket gradually become harder, leaving you more dependent on others. Take Walter, age 78, as an example. He still walked daily, but over time he noticed his body felt different. Getting out of bed in the morning came with stiffness. Reaching for something on the floor meant bending his knees much more than he used to. When he mentioned this to his doctor, he was told that his issue wasn't just aging, it was his joints slowly losing their full range of motion. Walter began adding gentle stretching, controlled movements, and joint mobility drills into his daily routine. Within weeks, he felt looser, his posture improved, and even his energy levels increased. And here's the good news. Flexibility training doesn't have to mean sitting on the floor touching your toes for 10 seconds. In fact, short dynamic stretches, gentle rotations, and yoga-inspired movements are often far more effective. Simple activities like neck circles, shoulder rolls, bringing your knee up toward your chest, or rotating your ankles can make a world of difference. These movements help lubricate your joints, release tension, and keep stiffness from creeping in. The benefits go well beyond just feeling less tight. Greater flexibility means fewer aches and pains, better circulation, improved posture, and even a reduced risk of falls. Flexibility also allows you to move with more confidence, which keeps you active, independent, and doing the things you love for much longer. Want to test your flexibility right now? Stand tall and slowly turn your head as far as you can to one side, then the other. Does it feel smooth and comfortable, or do you feel tightness or resistance? That simple check can give you insight into whether it's time to start adding mobility work into your routine. If you notice restrictions when you turn, bend, or stretch, that's your body telling you something important. Your flexibility is decreasing. The good news is, mobility loss is not inevitable. With just a few minutes of focused stretching each day, you can keep your body feeling younger, more mobile, and far less prone to aches or stiffness. So, if walking has been your main form of exercise, now is the time to add flexibility work as well. Keeping your joints loose and your movements smooth is one of the most powerful things you can do to stay active and independent after 70. And since you're still here watching this video, it tells me you're serious about protecting your health. Do me a favor, comment the number 3 below so I know you're following along and finding these insights valuable. Now, let's keep going. That brings us to the fourth key area, core strength and posture. Walking may keep your legs in motion, but it does little for your core muscles or spinal alignment. Yet these two things, your core and your posture, become absolutely critical as you get older. A strong core isn't about flat abs or looking fit in a swimsuit. It's about stability, balance, and protecting your spine, so every movement you make feels supported and pain-free. When your core is weak, you may begin to notice lower back discomfort, more frequent balance problems, or even a tendency to hunch forward as you walk. Over time, this not only increases your risk of falling, but also places unnecessary strain on your joints. Most people don't think about their core until pain or posture issues show up, but by then, the muscles that support your spine may already be underperforming. Take Harold, for example. At 75, he was active, walking daily, and doing what he thought was enough to stay strong. But gradually, his shoulders began to round forward, his posture collapsed, and his lower back started aching more often. His doctor explained that even though Harold was staying active, his posture muscles were weakening, and this poor alignment was putting pressure on his spine and joints. The solution? Core activation and posture-specific exercises. Harold began incorporating simple, low-impact movements into his daily routine. Seated pelvic tilts, posture resets while standing against a wall, and abdominal bracing while sitting in a chair. Within weeks, he noticed less back pain, stood taller without forcing himself, and even felt that his breathing improved because his chest could expand more freely. Here's the best part. Core and posture exercises don't require a gym or fancy equipment. Standing tall with your back against a wall, engaging your lower abs while seated, or practicing slow, controlled torso rotations can strengthen the deep, stabilizing muscles that keep your spine aligned. And the benefits go beyond posture alone. A strong core means better balance, less joint strain, and even improved digestion since your abdominal muscles also help support your internal organs. Want to test your posture right now? Try this. Stand with your back against a wall, making sure your head, shoulders, and hips are all touching. Can you stay in that position comfortably, or does it feel forced? If standing tall against a wall feels unnatural, it's a clear sign your posture could use some work, and the sooner you start, the easier it is to correct. Posture and core strength are absolutely essential for staying active, avoiding injuries, and maintaining a youthful, confident appearance as you age. And that brings us to the final key area you need to focus on: protecting your joints with low-impact movements. Walking is an excellent way to stay active, but if it's your only form of exercise, it can eventually put unnecessary strain on your knees, hips, and ankles. Over time, repetitive stress on the same joints without balancing movements can accelerate wear and tear, making pain and stiffness more likely. By adding low-impact exercises that protect and support your joints, you not only reduce discomfort, you extend your ability to move freely and stay independent for decades to come. Especially after 70, your joints demand more care than ever before. As we age, cartilage begins to wear down, joint fluid decreases, and the body's natural shock absorption becomes less efficient. This is why so many older adults begin to notice stiff knees, aching hips, or discomfort in their feet, even if they've stayed active their entire lives. The problem isn't necessarily the walking itself. It's the fact that walking alone doesn't provide the support your joints truly need. Too many people assume joint pain is simply an unavoidable part of aging. But here's the truth. Stiffness and discomfort don't just happen because of age. They progress much faster when you aren't actively protecting your joints. And in some cases, walking can actually make the issue worse because it repeats the same impact on the same joints, step after step, day after day. That's why doctors now emphasize that after 70, you should consider walking less and focusing more on low-impact movements that strengthen and safeguard your joints. Think about this. After your last long walk, how did your body feel? Were you energized and pain-free? Or did your knees feel tight, your hips sore, or your lower back achy? If walking leaves you stiff or uncomfortable, that's your body's way of signaling that your joints aren't getting the care and support they need. This is exactly what happened to Raymond, age 77. For years, he walked daily, convinced it was the best way to stay healthy. But over time, his knees stiffened, and his lower back began to ache more often. When he finally spoke to his doctor, the explanation was clear. He needed to reduce the repetitive stress on his joints and replace some of his walks with joint-friendly, low-impact movements. Raymond began swimming a few times a week, added short cycling sessions, and included flexibility-focused exercises. Within just a few weeks, his pain had decreased significantly, and the best part was that he didn't have to give up movement altogether. Low-impact, joint-friendly exercises can make an enormous difference. Activities like water, aerobics, cycling, tai chi, or even chair-based stretches improve blood flow, lubricate the joints, and strengthen the surrounding muscles, all without putting excessive pressure on sensitive areas. And the benefits go far beyond pain relief. Protecting your joints today ensures smoother mobility, less stiffness, and easier movement well into the future. Here's a simple test you can try right now. Sit in a chair and slowly stand up without using your hands. Pay close attention to your knees and hips. Do they feel smooth and strong, or do they feel achy and stiff? If you notice discomfort, that's your body telling you it's time to start incorporating more low-impact exercises into your routine. Remember, Maintaining healthy joints isn't only about avoiding pain, it's about preserving your freedom, your independence, and making sure every step you take feels effortless instead of painful. If you've been focusing only on walking, this is the time to prioritize joint health and add in movements that help rather than harm. And since you're still with me, do me a favor, comment the number 5 below to let me know you're here and committed to making your health a priority. Now, let's wrap this up with some final thoughts. If you've been relying solely on walking as your exercise, you may not realize just how much your body is missing. After 70, staying healthy isn't just about counting steps, it's about protecting muscle mass, improving balance, increasing flexibility, strengthening your core, and reducing joint strain. These 5 areas are the real foundation of longevity, independence, and vitality. Too often, people assume that aging means slowing down, becoming weaker, and giving up the activities they once loved. But the truth is far more encouraging. Your body is still capable of growth, strength, and resilience, no matter your age. By making these shifts now, you're not just adding years to your life, you're adding life to your years. So here's my challenge to you. Don't settle for just walking. Start building a routine that truly supports your strength, stability, and independence. Because the choices you make today will determine how you move, how you feel, and how much freedom you'll enjoy in the years ahead. Your body is still capable of improving no matter your age. Whether it's building strength, sharpening your balance, increasing flexibility, or improving posture, even small and consistent changes can transform the way you move, the way you feel, and how long you remain independent and active. The key is simple. You just need to start now. Muscle strength, balance, and joint health don't suddenly disappear overnight. These changes happen slowly, gradually, year after year. But here's the good news. You have more control than you might think. With the right focus, you can slow down that decline, and in many cases, even reverse it. Every choice you make today plays a role in shaping your mobility and independence for tomorrow. So here's a question for you. Which of these 5 areas do you feel you need to focus on the most? Is it strength, balance, flexibility, or maybe posture? Have you already noticed changes in how steady you feel, how strong your muscles are, or how easily you move throughout your day? We'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to leave a comment below and share one thing you learned from today's video, and, even more importantly, how you plan to put it into practice in your own life. Your stories and reflections not only inspire us, but also encourage others in this community who are on the same journey toward better health. And don't underestimate it, your feedback means a lot. Reading your comments gives us motivation, purpose, and the drive to keep creating valuable content that can inform, guide, and inspire people just like you. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone you care about. Your support helps us reach more people and continue to bring you practical tips that make a real difference. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. We truly appreciate you being here, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video, where we'll continue this journey towards staying strong, mobile, and independent for years to come.